This is Keith Gleason from Indie Comics Relay, back with another comic review. But before we get started on that, just a reminder that for the month of November, Johnny C., my good friend and co-host, will be offering all his comics on Global Comix distribution, the digital format. You could read all of them for free. So definitely go and check Johnny's page out at Global Comix. I'll put it in the show notes in the description in the video. And also, just to let you know, the Mighty Mascots campaign has ended, and now we are in the midst of producing issues 4, 5, and 6. So those should be coming out to backers probably early next year sometime. All right, so this week's review is The Scumbag from Image Comics. This comic is written by Rick Remender, art by Luis LaRosa, colors by Moreno Dionisio, and letters by Russ Wooton. This was kind of a fun comic. The premise of it is the Scumbag is basically this biker dude who, is like just kind of like a loser in like Nevada, hanging around Las Vegas and stuff. And he's basically one of those biker hippie types that's just an alcoholic and like drug junkie, basically, by the name of Ernie Ray Clementine. He's just like the worst person on the face of the earth. And basically what happens is he ends up stumbling into a situation where there's like a super secret spy organization like James Bond or something fighting outside of the streets of like Las Vegas, and one of the super spies ends up dropping a syringe that's supposed to be like a super soldier serum, kind of like Captain America. And of course it falls into the hands of the Scumbag, who thinks it's like heroin or something. And he ends up injecting himself with it. So he ends up getting this, superpowers he has to save the world. And now he's like the worst person you could ever expect to be a hero. I gotta admit, it was pretty fun. I wasn't sure what to expect with it, especially with a title called The Scumbag, But the story was a lot of fun. The setup was good. I generally like Rick Remender's writing. I've read a lot of his Marvel stuff. And I really liked, he used to have a series for Dark Horse called Fear Agent that was excellent. I enjoyed that a lot. The only thing I didn't really care about from him was Deadly Class. But I know a lot of people really like that book. I read the first one and the first trade, and I didn't really care about it. So that one just didn't grab me. But I gotta say, this is good. It's funny. If you like funny comics. And the art by Luis LaRosa was unbelievable. His style reminds me a lot of like somewhere between Glenn Fabry and Phil Winslade, who used to do a lot of work with, both of those guys used to do a lot of work with Garth Ennis back in the Vertigo days. Even just the cover, which is a close-up on the Scumbag's face, is just highly detailed. It just reminds me a lot of the old Preacher covers Glenn Fabry did. And the insides definitely look like Phil Winslade. If you ever take a look at, there was a Vertigo book called Nevada, actually, that he did with Steve Gerber. And if you look at those pages, it looks exactly like this. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Louis LaRosa is a fan of both of those guys. Yeah, and then, I just, I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun, funny. I'm curious where it's going to go. I think it's only 5 issues from what I read. It reminds me of, the situation reminds me, there's a book that came out from DC back in the mid-90s called Major Bummer. And I'll put up a graphic here so you guys can see it. But it reminded me of that a lot because same kind of situation where these aliens were trying to create like the best superhero in the world, and they end up giving the codex or whatever to create the superhero. It ends up going to the wrong person, which ends up being like a kid who's just like a lazy slacker type, And the same thing, it was just a funny comic, and kind of flipping like the idea of superheroes and superheroics on its ear, So if you like stuff like that that's not quite serious, and that you think it'll be pretty funny, this book I would recommend it. I think the art is like way more detailed than this story needs, but hey, whatever, if you're gonna put out a book, I guess put out the best version that you can, So yeah, I recommend this if you're a fan of comedy type of comics, or Rick Remender, or like La Rosa with this detailed art is really good. So yeah, that's my review this week. We'll be back next week with another live show. I forget who the guest is. I know we have the next 2 lined up, but yeah, just check in with us. Me and Johnny will be live on Wednesday night at 9 as usual. And then, like always, if you haven't subscribed, please do. It just helps us grow, helps us get into more people's views, helps indie artists and creators get recognized. Anything you can do. But anyways, thanks a lot, everybody. Have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.